Hello and welcome to another episode of Flower Breeding. In this episode we'll cover the nursery, Ellwanger and Berry. We'll first talk about the history of the nursery proper, and then a little miniature biography of the two individuals that founded it. Let's get started. Ellwanger and Berry was the nursery of the United States in the 19th century. The nursery got started in Rochester, New York. Many of the individuals that immigrated to California started orchards and gardens after the gold rush and ordered their plants from this nursery. The great distance meant that it took 6 months for the plants to reach California from New York, with problems along the way. In spite of these problems, the nursery prospered. This is especially because they learned how to improve young tree survival during long voyages from one location to another. Other nurseries were involved during that time period, but due to the unique approach that Ellwanger and Berry used, the nursery remained functional for decades and held the lead for decades. The nursery became the largest in the whole country, dominating the field until 1900, owning thousands of acres of greenhouses, orchard fruit trees, berry canes, grapevines, as well as various propagation facilities. The decline of this nursery, however, was because of its competition with western states that it supplied, and by 1918 it had gone out of business. The last legacy of this nursery was the park known as Highland Park, as the company donated 20 acres of land for a park to the city of Rochester in 1888. Now on to the biographies of the individuals. George Ellwanger was born in Großhapach, Germany. His family once had a good wine-producing company, but due to the Napoleonic Wars and a series of bad seasons, the environment kind of sucked for business, so they moved to the United States. Due to the location, he immigrated to having an effective canal system carrying heavy goods, and the great environment for growing orchards. He decided that this would be a good location to produce a nursery. As such, he moved to Rochester. He eventually established a nursery, Mount Hope Nursery, and merged with another nursery run by Patrick Berry. Ellwanger often went to Europe to obtain new seeds and plants. He died in 1906, and Ellwanger's son, Henry, continued his work until he died from typhoid early on, but not before becoming a noted authority on roses. George Ellwanger was born in 1816 and died in 1906. His son Henry was born in 1850 and died in 1883. Living only 33 years. Patrick Berry, on the other hand, was born in Ireland. In 1836, he immigrated to Flushing in Long Island, where he worked for a nursery, eventually joining forces with George Ellwanger. He edited various horticultural magazines from 1844 to 1854, and also wrote a book called A Treatise on the Fruit Garden and a Catalogue of American Pomological Society. He was also the one to introduce the idea of dwarf fruit trees. Now, as this is a history of flower breeding, what roles did he play in flower breeding? In this case, the lilac breeder John Dunbar bred lilacs in Highland Park. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching.